And I'm like, fuck your apology, bruv. Racist behaviour, anti-Semitic behaviour, and then marrying somebody who allegedly behaves in the same way tells me exactly who you are. So no, Kanye West, we, the people, do not accept your apology. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. How are ya? Hope you're good. Okay, let's get straight into it with Kanye West. I was just listening to that tune. You know that song he had with Adam Levine way back in the day? Oh, there's hair on my lens. Sorry, that song he had with Adam Levine way back in the day. Nothing's ever promised tomorrow, today. Tune. And I was like, damn, I missed the old Kanye. And, you know, just going back through some of his old tunes. And I thought, let's speak about the apology that he done a couple of weeks ago. So he took out a full page ad, I think, I don't know, but he paid for some space in the Wall Street Journal to issue an apology entitled "To Those I've Hurt." So basically, most of the article was about his anti-Semitic behaviour, and a little paragraph was to the black people and basically saying, "Oh, I love you guys, I love us deep. Sorry for the things I've said and sorry for embarrassing us." And it's just like, oh, I love the little paragraph he gave us. Thanks, Kanye, appreciate it. Reading this article, what really struck me is that, and it's always struck me with Kanye West, I hate when people blame mental health issues or bipolar as reasons for being terrible people. I think he gave a lot of his fans what it is they wanted to hear in terms of being able to defend all of his terrible behaviours on something that's outside of his control, when in fact his behaviour is totally in his control. And we can also look at his wife and who he married, and some of the things that she's been accused of, some of the anti-Semitic and racist things that she's been accused of. And it makes sense why her and Kanye West are together, because if they have the same ideals, regardless of any mental health issues that he may have, then that would make them compatible. By the way, I am dressed kind of, forgot a little thing of, I know my YouTube views are low and I want them to get higher, but I'm not trying to do no OnlyFans on here, you get me? Anyway. So, in 2018, he done an interview, was it with TMZ?
When you hear about slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice. Like, you was there for 400 years and it's all of y'all?
I love the fact that at this moment, though, he was checked on it.
We have to deal with the marginalization that has come from the 400 years of slavery that you said for our people was a choice. And brother, I am unbelievably hurt by the fact that you have morphed into something, to me, that's not real.
What I think Kanye West has, and I think he's always had this from the start of his career, I think he's elitist. And that statement to me, less about being racist, Kanye West thinks he's a better black than others. First of all, I think it was down to his education and that he came from a family that were well educated and he wasn't just a common street rapper. I think that's where the elitism was before. Then obviously he got fame, and then that elitism kind of jumped up a notch and he's like, now I'm famous, so I'm definitely not like you blacks. Then he got rich and he's like, oh no, I'm even further away from you blacks. Then he married into the Kardashian family. And for him, I don't know if he felt that was an upgrade for him, but that, you know, totally took him away from black culture completely, and especially him being in fashion, and we know fashion's got its own issues with racism. Kanye West views blackness as lower class and poverty, and whilst that is a racist ideology, because Kanye West is a black man, I think a lot of that for him stems in elitism and, of course, now capitalism. During that time, he was also heavily supporting Donald Trump and Donald Trump's campaign for presidency. And I think for a lot of us who were Kanye West fans, in 2018 for me, I was like, okay, Kanye West has always been problematic, but at this point here, I can see like he's too far gone. There's no coming back for him. And I think a lot of us who were former fans started kind of pulling away from Kanye West at that time, particularly because as well, his music was going downhill. His music was getting shit that time as well. So in October 2022, Kanye West wore a White Lives Matter shirt to Paris Fashion Week. Obviously, Black Lives Matter was very heavy that time. Everything that happened with George Floyd. The American people and people around the world were really waking up and like being vocal about the treatment of black people. And Kanye West took that opportunity to wear a White Lives Matter shirt, to me, to show his alliance. I do think Kanye West is a big troll, but I also feel like he has this deep need for acceptance, and the whole elitism thing coming into it again, he sees whiteness as being the pinnacle of success.
For me, also as a guy that looks up to you, looks up to Ralph Lauren, looks up to American industry guys, non-political.
He wants to do everything to be accepted by the white community, but also I feel that he enjoys being contrarian. I feel like if everyone's going right, he's going to go left. If everyone was supporting Donald Trump, he'd be supporting Kamala Harris. Do you know what I mean? And he likes divisiveness. And he now knows that in order for him to gain attention, he has to be shocking and be divisive. And that's what he does. He does it every time that he's got a new album or something new to promote. So moving on from that, in October 2022, he tweeted that he's going to go, I'll write it because I don't think I can say it. Now, I don't know the reason for him saying this. Based on what he just released in his apology, that would have been a moment that he was having due to his bipolar, why he went on and tweeted this. He also tweeted that Diddy was controlled by Jewish people. Whatever. In December 2022, Kanye West then went on to the podcast InfoWars with Alex Jones. You know that man that's got that rough voice and shouts loudly all the time. Anyway, went on there and declared that he loved Hitler and also really liked his party and what the party stood for and everything. And I'm thinking, what in the DEI kind of racism is this? Based on his apology, would put this down to his bipolar. But doing this and selling swastika t-shirts, doing that is not an episode. That's not a singular episode. And I think he's out of order, to be honest with you, to blame his actions on bipolar when he knows it was a calculated move he made to get people to speak about him. So back to the timeline. In December 2023, I believe he done an apology with a rabbi and apologized for what he had said before and apologized to the Jewish community and even wrote an apology, I think in Hebrew on Instagram or Twitter, one of them. And the apology did seem sincere, but it's Kanye West. He's always doing stuff. Do you know what I mean? That was December 2023. Then we get to March 2024 and he releases the song Vultures. Let me check. Yeah. In Vultures. He was like, how can I be anti-Semitic when I have to... It's just like, oh God, Kanye. Will you stop? Then we come to, is it May 2025, last year? He was promoting the new album, Bully. I think that's the album that's coming out now, which is the whole reason why this apology came out, but we'll talk about that in a second. So he released the song, which recently, the topic of that was trending again because you had a whole bunch of DEI Nazis playing the song in some car recently, a whole bunch of like wasteman. So that put that song back in the spotlight, but in 2025, after his apology in 2023, he released this song. And he also had a music video that showed a lot of symbolism. To plan a music video, to write a whole song, that's not an episode. Kanye, that's not an episode. And now that leads us to where we are now with the apology that came a couple weeks after that song was trending again. Let's listen to Torre, I think that's his name. He had a conversation. He hates Kanye West, by the way. So he's not unbiased. He hates Kanye West. And he said he had a conversation with somebody who works closely with Kanye West and explained that all of Kanye West's actions are just a form of trolling. Nothing to do with his bipolar. So let's listen to that.
I recently had a long conversation with someone who knows Kanye extremely well, who explained to me what's really going on here. This is not my opinion from far away. This is my reporting from someone who knows him extremely well. He's playing the troll. I'm told that behind the scenes, he's not anti-Semitic. He's trolling us for attention. He's being offensive on purpose. He knows that he's saying things that are wrong. He wants to be in poor taste.
And my thing with that is, outside of the mental health issues that you had with like bipolar, like your self-esteem must be in the gutter if you have to resort to hurting people for attention, if you have to resort to some of the greatest atrocities that have happened in history to gaining attention. Like, I don't know what it is in people that makes people want to troll so bad. Like, how bitter and upset can you be? And to be as accomplished as he is, as I do think Kanye West is very talented. I think his ability to use samples is top notch. I don't think he's the genius that he professes to be, or some people profess him to be, but he is extremely talented. And whilst we can talk about the death of his mum and how that kind of was the beginning of his spiraling out of control, his mum died when he was a grown man. And I'm not saying that's not difficult and that's not hard and that can't hit you and change you completely. It definitely can. But as a grown man with children, he did have a family in the Kardashians. Now he chose that family to go into that family, but you know, they seem to be quite close knit and lovable. I don't know if they were trying to control him or whatever, but this is someone who had the world, but he chooses to be in a space where he's constantly hated. I don't know why that is. It's almost like self-sabotage and like he has no peace. And for that, I feel bad for him to walk around this world and have so much but not realise it and try to sabotage it. There's a lot going on there, I think, beyond just bipolar. But let's get back into the video.
This person told me things went out of control after he got the Adidas deal and he got fuck you money. That's when his ego went nuts. That's when he started drowning in wealth privilege.
And that's what I mean. Now he sits in wealth privilege, but as I said earlier on in the video, I always think he had this air of elitism to him. And when he first came into the scene, it was based on his academics and maybe the knowledge that he had that other rappers didn't have. And he kind of used that to feel like he was better than other people. And now that when he became a billionaire, and as the guy said, fuck you money, it was like, who's going to stop me? But to me, it's just like, if you have that much money, the fuck you part is like, I can go wherever I want. I can go on holiday wherever I want. I can have the best things in life. You can literally do what you want. F you money, to me, isn't being racist and anti-Semitic. Do you know what I mean? Back to the thing.
He felt like wealth privilege allowed him to say or do whatever he wanted. So his way of flexing was to say anti-Semitic things.
Weird.
He knew what he was doing. He knew that it was wrong, and he wanted to be wrong because wealth privilege allowed him to feel like, I can be wrong, and what are you gonna do? He may be bipolar, but this is someone who says, I can say whatever, and you can't do shit about it. And this is me proving that to you. Ever since he got the Adidas deal, he's been the world's biggest troll because he's been like, there's nothing you can do to hurt me. And I really don't care what you have to say if you have less money than me.
And there you have it. My thing is with this Kanye West apology, if he was really sorry, then you donate some of your money. You donate like a big chunk of money to the Jewish community in need, to black people in need. You delete your songs that have been offensive to these communities, and you get out in the community and you show that you are a changed person. Maybe people will forgive him, I don't know. But to be honest with you, I am sick of Kanye West. I've been sick of Kanye West for a long time, and I feel that the black community in particular, we need to let him go. Before we jump off, and I know this video has been a bit long, I want to keep it short. Let's just listen to Tisa Tells, because she done a great video about Bianca Sensori, and it highlighted to me more about his wife and more about why them two are a match made in heaven. And if you Google stuff about her and Google like Bianca Sensori, racism, Bianca Sensori, anti-Semitic stuff, it's like, oh, nothing's come up about her. You know, this is all in relation to Kanye West. She tried to divorce him or whatever. But if you dig a little deeper, like Tisa Tells does, because she's good at the deep dives, we can see she shares similar sentiment.
Bianca was an active participant in Kanye's toxicity. Before she was the wife, she was sending racist memes to coworkers. She was pressuring designers to create harassment merchandise. She was part of what one source called the mob mentality in group chats.
Okay, so you do know, maybe you don't, because you're not chronically online, but Bianca Sensori's uncle It's also known as the Al Capone of Australia. So she comes from a nice little gangster family. Do you know what I mean? But just this information here tells you that her and Kanye West are two peas in a pod, if this is allegedly true. Basically, the information here was leaked information from former Yeezy employees about the toxic work environment there and Bianca Sensori's participation in it. So let's get back into this.
And after she became the wife, well, according to the same sources, she turned into a demon. She refused to sign contracts so workers wouldn't get paid. She tried to cut lunch breaks for seamstress who commuted 2 hours to get to work. She walked into employee trailers and asked them what they thought about Jewish people. And allegedly, she started threatening people outside the company, using her position as Kanye's wife to intimidate people in LA.
What did I say? Birds of a feather. Watch this video. I'll link it below. It's Tisa Tell's video. But it's very, very interesting and it explains a lot about Kanye West. And I'm like, fuck your apology, bruv. Like, I don't want to hear nothing more from you because you've showed us who you are time and time again. And back in the day, whilst we thought it was funny, whilst we thought it was, you were having an episode, years of bad behaviour, offensive behaviour, racist behaviour, antisemitic behaviour, and then marrying somebody who allegedly behaves in the same way tells me exactly who you are. So no, Kanye West, we, the people, do not accept your apology, and I speak on behalf of the people. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Bye!